You know, when the Tiny Toon University trailer came out several days ago, I gave my thoughts on it, and honestly, like I said, I'm hyped for it. Excuse me, I'm hyped for it. I'm looking forward to, what it brings to the table, and I'm also hoping that a lot of tropes and gags that we, know and love that, you know, made Tiny Toons what it is, make a return. Like I said, in there, I hope one of the gags that I'm a fan of is the Lustful Milk gag. I hope that makes a return. I mean, I know that in the Animaniacs soft reboot, if you will, or reboot period, it didn't make a return unless I missed it, unless I missed an episode where one of the new characters, male or female, ended up doing that gag. Maybe you guys can let me know in the comments or in the live chat during the premiere of this video. But I'm not aware of that moment happening, in the new Animaniacs that premiered 3 years ago and continued for at least up to this more recent and potentially final third season. But Tiny Toons to me has the opportunity to pick up the slack, I guess you could say, where Animaniacs, lacked. Basically they have an opportunity to pick up the slack where Animaniacs lacked to pick it up and run with it. And to me, when you have a variety of characters coming back that people know and love, even with new quirks about them and everything, tweaks here and there and everything. To me, to me, it's like an open door. It's an open door that you cannot close because you have so much opportunity in front of you to tell not just some great stories, comedic wise and all that, but gag wise, visually, you know, bring to life. And like I said, the Lustful Milk gag is one that I know Tiny Toons can bring to life. I mean, to be honest with you, it was Tiny Toons that was the first animated cartoon that I know of in the modern era of the 1990s, late 80s, early to mid 90s. They are the first cartoon I know of that brought that lustful milk gag back. Because as I've said on many occasions, I got introduced to that gag watching Popeye the Sailor Man in the Palais Vu's Woo 1956 short, and its ending with Olive melting into a running puddle of butter. And then I saw it, be done, in an earlier 1940 something short with Sue and a Crooner. So to me, when I saw Tiny Toons in the Looney beginning, and most appropriately, in my opinion, Europe in 30 Minutes with Babs doing it, to me, when I saw them bring it back, obviously it told me that Steven Spielberg and Warner Brothers were wanting to basically dig into that vault of gags and tropes that the Looney Tunes were mostly known for, and and utilize them in a huge way with Tiny Toons. And they did just that. They took that opportunity in the original series to take that ball of gags and tropes that people could laugh at and everything because they're visually seeing it come to life in the show, and they ran with it. They ran with it and scored multiple touchdowns, scored multiple slam dunks, grand slams, you name it. You know, and to me, Tiny Toons University has an opportunity to do just that as well. I mean, they'll already kind of given us an idea of what to expect from a visual gag perspective, but I know, as well as all of you know, that's not everything. That is not everything. And I'm hoping we get all the gags that, the original Tiny Toons were known for in the new one, along with some new gags and tropes as well. Now, I know that that's not going to be the only thing that carries the series. I know we got to have stories. And it looks like the difference between the original Tiny Toons and this Tiny Toons is they're going to tell a story. There's going to be some kind of at times consistent continuity in some episodes. Like some episodes will be standalones and fillers and all that. I don't think we can deny that's going to be, happening in the series. But we also know there's probably going to be some episodes that are going to be somewhat connected together. They're going to have some kind of continuity, and I think it's all going to start with that very first episode, potentially the one that got leaked out accidentally on purpose or purposely, I should say, a few weeks ago. I think it all starts with that first episode, where I guess you could say the consistent, probably with every other episode or so, continuity, connection, if you will, from a story standpoint, comes into play. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see what they do. But to me, to me, honestly, I think the best opportunity, in my opinion, for this show for this revamp of Tiny Toons to show that not only is it something for a new generation, but it also pays tribute to the previous generation, is the gags and the tropes. I mean, here's the thing. There are characters in here that we know did the Lustful Milk Gag, or some kind of interpretation of the Lustful Milk Gag, if you will, in the original Tiny Toons. We know Buster did it when he got kissed by Babs when she dressed up as Jessica Rabbit in the pilot Looney Beginning. We know Babs did it in admiration and awe of being in the presence of royalty in Europe 30 Minutes. We know Plucky did it in the Acme Bowl. We know Babs did it in Wonderful Tiny Toon Christmas. We know Plucky did it in his fantasy dream sequence, Pluck Tracy. So we know these characters have done it. But now's the opportunity not only to do it with these characters again, but to also do it with characters that have yet to do it. Like Fifi LaFume, Sweetie, Shirley the Loon, Hampton, if you will, Calamity, Furball, what's his name? Marsha the Martian, the female Martian girl that appeared in Tiny Toons in their episode where they pay tribute to the Duck Dodgers thing, if you will. You got a chance with her. You got like I said, you got a chance with Foulmouth. You got a chance with who else is there? You got there's so many names to list off. List off, I should say, not lift off, but list off when it comes to these potential possibilities of going with the Lustful Milk Gag with some of these characters. So the opportunity is there, in my opinion, and not just the Lustful Milk Gag. But we're talking like the getting flattened gag. We're talking, getting the flattened, squished gag by something like a steamroller gag. We've seen a lot of characters get through, go through that, but not all the characters. And this is an opportunity for that to happen. This is an opportunity for that to happen, in my opinion. So honestly, at the end of the day, this show, in my opinion, is going to have a lot to live up to, not just from possibly giving us something a little bit different in a somewhat consistent continuity-based story that obviously will start with the first episode, but also give us an opportunity to see the tropes and the gags from Lustful Milk, the zany wild takes and all that, that we know and love from the original Tiny Toons, applied here in the new Tiny Toons, but not just with the characters we expect, but with other characters that never had a chance or opportunity to go through that. Go through those gags and everything in the previous series. They have an opportunity to, apply all of that, and really get people, excited and pumped up and, wanting to see more of what this show has to provide. So it's got a lot to live up to, and I hope it does live up to it, if not succeed. In fact, one episode I hope they do, because Tiny Toons has been known to do this as well, is do kind of a break the fourth wall deal. And what I mean by break the fourth wall is, I check something here real quickly. What I mean by break the fourth wall, I mean basically have the characters be like, they're doing a scene, and all of a sudden they're like, you know what, cut, can't do this no more. Can't do this, no. Cut, can't do it. As I check something here, guys, hold on. Like, cut, can't do it, and everything. It's have them break the fourth wall, but it's like they just do a scene, they say cut, and all of a sudden they're walking off, and you see human directors going like, what are you doing, and everything. Have them do an episode like that, because they did that before with Tiny Toons. They did that before, I think, once or twice on Tiny Toons, and it was great. It was terrific, to where they had the characters basically be like, we're done with this. I mean, we all know, and I think they're aware, that not a lot of fans are fond of the whole Buster and Babs being siblings deal. So why not do an episode where they break the fourth wall and they address that, and you have Buster and Babs be like, look, this sibling thing ain't working. everybody knows from the original series we're not related. We're supposed to be boyfriend girlfriend. Have them do something like that, and I guarantee people will enjoy it because that is a callback to the original series and what they used to do. So that's an episode I would love to see occur if they do it. But again, everything else, like I said, from the gags, the tropes that I've mentioned, we got introduced or reintroduced to in the original Tiny Toons, they need to reapply into this series, and do it not just with the characters we know would do it, but with other characters as well. But again, also keep that consistent potential continuity-based storyline that you'll probably be starting with the first episode, as well as touch upon things that I think Tiny Toons tried to touch upon, but do it a little bit more seriously, but with a comedic flair, attached to it, like a little dramatity, if you will. Do that, and I guarantee you will have a show that people want to see more of as time goes on. But yeah, I am super hyped for Tiny Toons, and like I said, they have a lot to love up to, from its predecessor, and I've got a feeling if done right with the tropes and the gags that I've mentioned, and anything, and like the continuity story-based continuity-based storyline they might be doing, as well as maybe breaking the fourth wall, like they used to do in the original. I would definitely say Warner Brothers and Steven Spielberg and Max, they got a huge hit on their hands, and if they do all that, and I think they know it. But let me know what your thoughts are. What are you looking forward to the most and hoping for, gag-wise, storyline-wise, and all that in Tiny Toon Looniversity? Let me know down below in the comments and in the live chat. And until next time, guys, I will talk to you all later.